they scored on you with just a little bit of time left in that first half. How do you manage that?
Yeah, that was frustrating. You know, had the turnover. I think we're trying to run the ball out and run the clock out and go in and try to recover. It doesn't help going down another 7 points, you know. But we just made, as a team, we made way too many mistakes to even have a chance in this game. Washington is a great team, and you can't give great teams that opportunity. Otherwise, what happened tonight happens, you know. They got everything rolling, and we were on our heels the entire game. And that's what great teams do when you make mistakes. I don't mean to like diminish anything they did, because that's a great team. They're a national contender every year. They're in the playoffs, you know. So we knew coming into this game that we'd have to play as disciplined, as good as we possibly can. But we didn't even have a chance at that because they're such a great team. When they make mistakes, they capitalize on that, you know. So a lot of credit Coach Peterson and that staff and that team. I think they're going to do some really good things this season, but it's an opportunity for us to learn from this game and get better. We don't have time to sulk. We have to play a game in less time. We play on Friday, so we don't have time to think about it. Utah State's coming off a bye, so I'm sure they're ready for us, and we'll be ready for them too. You know, we just need to bounce back from this loss. Can't let this loss affect next week's game, and sometimes that can happen, but we can't allow that to happen. The leaders, the players, and the coaches need to make sure that doesn't happen this week.
They scored their first touchdown. You put together a nice drive, but those penalties just set. I mean, I think you gained 91 yards on the drive and didn't get any points out of it. How big of a sequence was that, not being able to get anything on the board?
Yeah, it was just like a bunch of mistakes that happened, and the worst at the worst timing. You know what I mean? So we'll go back and try to fix it and get better. I felt really comfortable with our preparation and with what we did all week, you know, and I think they just beat us. You know, we didn't give ourselves a chance, and they're a really good team, man. I'm really impressed with them as I watched them for a while now. You know, since Coach Peterson, I think it's his 5th year, he's been establishing his culture and working on it, and it's a really good machine right now. And so I keep repeating myself, but we didn't give ourselves a chance with the mistakes that we made and penalties. But there's other ones. There's other things that we could have done better. I felt like our guys were pressing a little bit too much, you know. I know on defense we had a lot of mistakes and offensive mistakes because guys are trying to do too much. And still, again, you can't beat great teams when you're doing that. And you just focus on your 111th. We talked about doing their 111th and trusting the teammates to do that. And I appreciate the energy and the want to, but we made not only one person make a mistake, but then he tried to cover it by doing somebody else's job, and that's not going to work in this system in our program. So tough lesson to learn, but we'll learn from it and get better. And we have to get better because we're playing on Friday. It'll be another game and a great opponent, so we have to be ready for it.
They had a lot of success moving the ball. Defensively, what did you see?
They were just manhandling us. They're doing a great job blocking, and specifically on the edge. I thought their linemen were getting pulling and getting on in space on us, and really athletical linemen and tight ends. They kept doing the outside run stretch, you know, and it's getting to us. And I thought they did a good job blocking downfield. Their receivers, it doesn't get enough credit for what they do. They block well downfield. And, yeah, a good system. I thought they countered everything that we could think of, trying to make up for it with the RPOs. And I thought Jake did a great job, you know, pulling the ball and throwing when he needed to. And I thought they did a great job with the play call. So we were just in trouble. And then at the end, when they knew they had the advantage with us unable to score, and they just kind of slowed the game down and just wore us down at the end. You know, so to learn from it and get better. That's the only thing we can do is learn from this and see a team that we admire so much and a program that I think is a great program. And if we're going to strive to do that and strive to beat those programs, we need to play better. That's the difference between the Wisconsin game and this one. I think this team's a different beast, but we didn't give ourselves a chance. And then, you know, really hard to talk about it if you know that it really was never close.
Corbin had the sack early, but after that he had a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to take for you guys to get that pass rush where you want it to be?
Well, I think you have to stop the run first and make them throw. I think a lot of what they do with the scheme with the RPOs, If you bring pressure, they just pull it out, throw the screens, and throw the quick throws right away. They gashed us on some of those too. So scheme-wise, we know how to try to get more pressure on, but they're doing a lot of max protection, 2 and 3 man routes, and the quarterback's really accurate. And when he has time, he can drop it in there. So other than max blitz, we changed up some things and did some pressure. But again, guys, they're a great team, and we're on our heels the entire time, and they were trying to catch up, trying to make plays, and they just kept gaining yards and yards. I really don't think it had anything to do with just the pass rush itself. If you allow a team to be balanced and run and throw, then you're going to be in trouble. And so we need to hang our hat on stopping the run, and we didn't do that well enough. If we do that and force them to throw, then maybe we can get some more pressure on the quarterback. But I have to give them a lot of credit on what they did. And Washington's a really good team, and I thought they had a great game plan. And the quarterback was patient. They didn't make any mistakes. You know what I mean? The only mistake they made was on a muffed punt. I think the receiver fumbled on a big gain that they had. But other than that, really clean game from them, and then a disciplined game. So there's a lot of things for us to learn from, and good film. It was ugly at times, but we have to get better from it. Just can't sulk about it.
Katoa had career highs in receptions and yards. Did a pretty good job. Scored a touchdown. Pasquale, what was his status? You come on both of those.
Yeah, I probably didn't see enough of who was in the game more than anything. We know that Squale's been banged up a little bit, and we feel like he's getting better. But we have a lot of confidence in Lopini and Squale, both as running backs, and I think Lopini adds a little bit different dynamic. He can catch the ball, he can run receiver. He does a lot of different things that way. And Squale's more of a power running back, although he can catch the ball too. But I think Lopini's probably more of a all-around, can run routes at a slot receiver type guy too.
Zane and Diane getting close to coming back, or?
Yeah, neither one made the trip. Zane actually practiced last week, but then it wasn't 100%, wasn't good. We'll see what happens next week. I think we're more hopeful for next week than we were for this week. Diane didn't really practice much, but I think we could have forced him, but my job as a coach is to protect our guys too, even from themselves, when they want to play. And as much as I want our guys to be on the field, I think that's when more injuries happen and something more serious when they keep playing with something banged up. So we'll just be smarter with them, and hopefully they'll be able to go this week.
How big was it that Moroni got hurt on the third play of the game?
Yeah, that was really hard because he's with the C. We get an MRI and see what happens, but he's worked so hard and has been battling with injuries, and I think he's starting to come along as one of our best tight ends. So. But we feel good about the depth there and the guys that are there, the young guys, and so this will be their chance to step up, and we'll have to evaluate and see what the severity of the injuries will be for